map leveling. So you have to label a map, or you have to provide information about the map through the audio. Okay, let me just explain what this map leveling is. You will be listening for directions. You will be listening for information in a map, and you have to fill some information in a map which is not complete. So for an example, we have a map here. We'll see example in detail with proper drawing. Don't worry about that. I'm just showing you here. We have a map here of a place. We have some buildings, and there are some missing answers. You know, this is number 11, this is number 12, and you'll be listening to an audio. Now in the audio, you'll be having, in the exam, you'll be having options. Now choose these options, which one is fitting to which one, 11 or 12, using the direction they are providing in the audio. This is how you label a map. Okay, it's not that difficult for a reason, because I guess after practice it gets easier. But originally it's not that difficult because you don't have to read much in this kind of question. If it is getting difficult for you, definitely you are missing the technical part of the question. That means you're not using the right tip or right technique. Once you go through this video, it will definitely get easier. Trust me, compared to the last time. Okay. Now there are two types in listening for the maps. Right, the first one is when we have a question in the image, and second one is when we have a question outside the image. What is the meaning of this? Let me show you an example. Here, if you look, we have question in the image. 14th is the number of question. 15th, 13th, 12th, 11, all are number of question. Here, options are outside the image, as you can see here. So you'll be listening an audio and try to fit which one is correct for 11th. Either A to I, again for 12. So the person who is here will be talking first about, oh, we are standing at the entrance, and then when we go straight, we on the left comes, let's say, multimedia room. So the answer for 11 is F. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying exactly that's the answer. Now, if we look at the just opposite, we have a computer room. So we have computers here, number C. That's how they're going to play the audio. I'm going to show you a real example. Don't worry about that. This is just to show you what are the types in this kind of question. First one is question in the image, right? Why do we have to do this? Understanding the types, we'll see later. Second one is question outside the image. Now we have taken the same image. What if 11th is here, 12th is here, 13th is here, 14th is here? We don't have this all, okay? And we have here A, B, C, D, E. Now think about it. Questions are outside, options are inside. The difference between these will be, now let's go back to the previous one. When I'm playing the audio, you must be knowing by now, if you're listening to all the classes, that audio always plays in the sequence of the question, not the options. So what's going to happen? I'm going to play from 11 to 12. I'm going to give information from 11 to 12, and then 12 to 13, 13 to 14. I can talk about fiction and seminar room, but I can never go to 15 without talking about 14th. You understand my point? 14th to 15th, like this. It will always go in the sequence. However, in the case of here, that is outside the image, the sequence will be followed from here because questions are here. So this might get a little bit difficult because let's say I talk about art collection, which is here, and suddenly I jump to here. Or I could jump here after that because there's no sequence following in the image. However, it is there in here, outside the image. So if you get this kind of question, you are lucky. If you get this kind of question, well, it's fine. After practice and understanding some tips, you can get it done. Now, let's see some examples so that you can get accustomed to the question type. This is the example which you have seen earlier, but definitely the answer I provided you is not the correct one. I just guessed it to make you understand. So don't just write F there, all right? Good. I'm going to play the audio so that you can go through it. Good luck.
You will hear the librarian of a new town library talking to a group of people who are visiting the library.
Okay, everyone. So, here we are at the entrance to the town library. My name is Anne, and I'm the chief librarian here, and you'll usually find me at the desk just by the main entrance here. So, I'd like to tell you a bit about the way the library is organised and what you'll find where. And you should all have a plan in front of you. Well, as you see, my desk is just on your right as you go in. And opposite this, the first room on your left has an excellent collection of reference books and is also a place where people can read or study peacefully. Just beyond the librarian's desk on the right is a room where we have up-to-date periodicals such as newspapers and magazines. And this room also has a photocopier, in case you want to copy any of the articles. If you carry straight on, you'll come into a large room, and this is the main library area. There is fiction in the shelves on the left, and non-fiction materials on your right, and on the shelves on the far wall, there is an excellent collection of books relating to local history. We're hoping to add a section on local tourist attractions too, later in the year. Through the far door in the library, just past the fiction shelves, is a seminar room, and that can be booked for meetings or talks. And next door to that is the children's library, which has a good collection of stories and picture books for the under 11s. Then there's a large room to the right of the library area. That's the multimedia collection, where you can borrow DVDs and so on. And we also have CD-ROMs you can borrow to use on your computer at home. It was originally the art collection, but that's been moved to another building. And that's about it. Oh, there's also the library office on the left of the librarian's desk. OK. Now, does anyone have any questions? Yes, thank you, sir.
Alright, so we are back here. Let's see the answers. Yeah, I hope you're ready with your book and your answers after listening to the audio. So the answer for the first one, which is 11th, is H. Well, pretty far from what we guessed. Reference book. For 12th, we have G, which is periodicals. 13th is D, which is local history collection. Please don't write full answer as the answer. Just write the option. Option is correct. 14th is B, children's books. And 15th is F, which is multimedia. Okay, this is 15th. So I hope you got all correct answer. If you didn't, go through the instructions or pointers and do similar examples and see how it helped you. Okay, let's see the pointers or the tips that can help you to go through this question. Tips in here are very important for a reason. Most of the people are missing this kind of answer or are missing this kind of question type because they understand English, but they might not be understanding the directions itself. So let's see. First of all, never ever miss the origin or the starting point. It is very important. Without that, you might not even know where the audio started. So this is where we started talking about, and we have a whole image here. If we don't recognize where the starting point is, where are we gonna go? I don't know, we'll miss here, we'll jump there or here, and it's all messed up. I have seen people starting their listening in maps, and when they start, if they miss this point, they get almost 5 to 6 incorrect out of 7. The reason is they don't know what is coming next. Okay, so let's take an example here. If the audio is being played from here, you should be knowing. What if the audio starts from, all right, we are at the librarian's desk. You should be knowing. Pay close attention to the initial part. That's really important. Okay. Now the second one is most common mistake is people don't follow. People don't follow the instructions. Instead, they look at the picture. What do you mean by looking at the picture is They don't even put a pencil or their finger at the paper or the screen. What they do is they just look at it as if they have visual memory. They don't. So please use a pointer to follow the image. Let me show you an example. So earlier we have seen the audio, but we'll create our own audio to make it clear. I'll keep my finger like this. So we are at the entrance. Once we enter inside, on the right side we have librarian's desk. But when we go on the left side, we have the reference books. Great. Proceeding, if we go straight, we have librarian area. But below it, on the right side, we have something else. See, how did we follow the whole instruction? And we never missed a point. But if I'm looking, I might miss one thing. And in maps, if you miss one single point, you miss everything. So I suggest you please follow the audio using a pointer. Now a pointer can be a pencil, can be a pen. I suggest pencil though, or could be a finger as well, right? That like I have to just pointer. As soon as I find the answer, I stop, write the answer, and again the pointer continues. So I would suggest instead of just looking at the eyes, use a pointer. Now, what if there are no blanks? Let's say for an example here, there's no answer here, there's no question here. So you might think this is not important. It is really important. The reason for it to be important is to follow the sequence. So for the 13th, I went here, and then from here I went seminar room, and then here. Now see, close to fiction and seminar room, there's nothing. Still, if I don't follow, I might not find this answer as well as this answer. That's the reason I always follow both of them, everything. So these are the landmarks or the information which is important. You should be reading these as well. Okay. As I said, and this same thing came up, that is landmarks. Landmarks are like guiding points for us in images. Right. Keep an eye on the landmark and you will find your way. So the audio is being played not with keeping just the direction in mind. They'll say the close by landmarks or the information points. We call them landmarks in images. For example, we enter on the right side, we have librarian desk. Now you get a reference. Oh, they're talking about this. But the opposite of that is something. You see, reference is important. If you go straight to the line, we get to library area. Oh, they're talking about this point. When we see, look at the right of it, we get non-fiction. If you look at the left of it, we get fiction. But if you go going straight, we find the point. Now look, they use 1, 2, and 3 references in order to provide one answer. And this is what I mean by following the landmarks. Okay, that's going to help you to find the answer easily. Cool. Next one is basic vocabulary related to vocabulary. Basic direction related to vocabulary. I was just focusing on vocabulary and I said it twice. Sorry for that. See, most of us don't go through basic vocabulary because as a non-native speakers, I just need left, right, straight, and up and down. That's it. While finding direction. Rarely we go through cross and go along. So this is the vocabulary. What I want you to do is stop here and just copy all of them and see how they're used. If you don't want this, all you can do is see there's a vocabulary course also created which we have provided you. You can look into it and all of them are explained in detail. Okay, see, go straight, turn left, go past, that means we go cross, all cross, go along with something, right? Around the corner, between, behind, turn back, go back, same way. Now, what I mean by this, I'll give you an example, okay? So when you go to something like this on a road, in between we have some kind of statue. Now, I want to go here and I'm here. In our language, we'll just go straight. Don't worry about the building in between. Just go around anywhere straight. This is not how instructions are being provided. They'll say, go straight on the roundabout or at the roundabout, take the second exit. So this is the first exit. This is the second exit. And this is how the Google Map uses the instructions. But because we never use these instructions in everyday life, what happens? We don't understand them in the audio as well, and we get stuck. It's important to understand these kind of words while we are going through this kind of question. Okay, good. So lastly, we have confusion with directions. What I mean by confusion with directions, biggest confusion actually are east, west, north, and south. While we are in a hurry, we are listening to an audio, we might think of east as west, or we might not be able to point out. Okay, my logic says is use your country's map. For an example, look at India itself. We have north here. If north is here, automatically on the right it's east, on the west, on this side is west. So if north is here, definitely east is here, west is here, south is here. You must be knowing your country as well. Keep your country's map in your mind and you will never make a mistake in west or east. Right now, stand here where you're standing and visualize your country's map. So think of your country's map in your mind. And where you're standing, you just find one direction. Rest is all gonna get easier for you, right? Good. So that is how we're gonna do, okay?